So review lang po natin last week. Nag-discuss po tayo sa install mask and accessories pa rin po tayo. Yung COC1 natin. So ayan, discuss natin kung ano ba yung mask or yung pole natin, kung para saan po ba siya. Types of mounting, and then kung ano po ba yung mga gamit na accessory, essential accessories. Habang tatayo natin yung mask na gagawin natin, siyempre yung mga safety equipment na kailangan alamin natin kung paano yung proper na pagsuot, and then kung para saan po ba siya. Yan, yung mga safety precautions po. Okay? So, and then, dito po tayo natapos sa safety harness natin, and then yung proper procedure kung paano po natin siya isusuot. Okay? So now, proceed po tayo dito. Dito na po tayo mag-i-start. So yung broadband installation tools and equipment, TR-based, meaning po ng TR is training regulation. Based po sa TR ni TESDA. Okay? So ito po yung nakalagay dun sa training regulation na tools and equipment. Kapag po magte-training tayo ng broadband installation, fixed wireless system, national certification level 2. Okay? So ito po, meron po tayo ditong tatlong category, may tools, equipment, and materials. So start tayo sa tools. Kailangan merong at least 5 sets of adjustable wrench, blade cutter, combination pliers, compass, diagonal, pliers, and so on and so forth. Okay? Now, syempre, bago tayo mag-proceed, i-identify muna natin yung mga tools na pwede natin gamitin kapag magpa-practical na tayo or maggagawa na kayo or magtatayo na kayo ng mask ninyo. Okay, so yan. Start tayo. Nag-provide na rin ako ng pictures para at least for those na hindi
long brush.
for
Pagka
those
po, tama ba? Yung ano, yung...
mute ko lang sa mga. Ayan. So for those po na hindi familiar dun sa mga tools na ginagamit, siguro naman most of you alam na halos lahat ng mga tools na nandito. Opo. For those lang po siguro may first time nakakita, siguro naman wala or hindi alam kung paano gamitin ito. Discuss lang po muna natin siya. Okay, first, meron po tayo dito ng adjustable wrench. So, ito, how to use an adjustable wrench correctly. The most important thing to remember is that an adjustable wrench has a fixed jaw and sliding jaw. To avoid damaging the tool or rounding off the corners of your board, follow these steps. So, ito po yung mga proper steps kung paano natin siya gagamitin. Siguro pwede nyo akong tulungan dito, basahin na lang muna natin. Anyone na lang po ulit na gusto mag-raise ng hands. Basahin nyo na yung 1 to 4. Ulo. Ako na lang. Sige, ako na lang ha. Tandulo. Okay. So, yung number 1 natin, identify natin ang fixed jaw. Look at the wrench head and side of solid steel, fixed, and the other moves when you turn the thumb wheel. Always place the wrench so fixed the jaw is on the side that will take the most pressure as you turn. Number 2 natin, adjust for snag, fit, prevent slippage. Slide the jaw over the nut or bolt. Turn the thumb wheel until the jaw is clamped tightly against the flat sides of the fastener. So number 3 natin, mahaba kasi, pull, don't push, direction of force. And then number 4, apply force toward the fixed jaw mechanical strength. Ito, shortcut ko na lang po. So yan, ating adjustable wrench, kaya po sa adjustable, ginagamit po natin to pang adjust ng mga bolts natin. So ano po ba yung bolts? Yun po yung, wala yata akong sample dito, yung tornilyo na ang ulo niya is parang hexagon type. Okay? So, si adjustable wrench, pwede natin siyang gamitin into different size of bolts. So, to loosen and to tighten the bolts or yung screw. Okay? And then, ito naman yung kanya mga safety procedure kung paano nyo siya proper na gagamitin. So, hindi ko na babasahin lahat. Siguro naman, most of you is alam kung paano yung proper procedure kung paano siya gamitin. Okay? Ito naman yung mga dapat iwasan kapag gagamit ng tools na adjustable wrench. Using an adjustable wrench incorrectly is the quickest way to ruin a bolt or hurt yourself. Okay? So kapag mali din po kasi yung paggamit, pwedeng masira yung bolt Kapag for example, ito pala yung bolt na sinasabi ko. So once na maputol yan, wala na pong panghahawakan yung wrench natin para malusen or matighten yung screw. So yan. So don't choose the incorrect size wrench for the job, and then don't push the wrench. Instead pull it in the direction you want it to turn. So, ito naman yung pangatlo, don't hit a wrench with a hammer unless you have a special strike phase wrench that designed for being hit with an object. And then lastly, don't add leverage with a half length of pipe. So parang a-adjustan nyo siya ng haba. Can damage your wrench by bending the handle or jacking up the head and added torque twist, rounding your fastener if you don't have the right wrench. And for the job, if you need more leverage, use a longer wrench. Okay? So wag daw po natin lagyan ng mga adjustable na tubo para at least hindi ma-damage yung tools na gagamitin natin. Para maiwasan din syempre yung accident. So ito naman yung blade cutter natin. So lahat naman po siguro tayo nakikita nito. Medyo mahaba. Sige, may gusto ba magbasa? Ayun nyo, tigil ko to. Tama na, no? Okay, so sa blade cutter naman natin, tinatawag din po siyang utility knife. Okay? So standard utility knife features a plastic or metal casing, a slider, extend the blade, and groove blade divided into segments that you can snap off when they get done. So number one, extend the blade slightly, only one segment. So safety nito, wag nyong ilalahat yung pag-slide. So wag nyong gagamitin lahat. So doon lang kung saan nyo lang pwedeng gamitin. Yan, di ba? So pwede natin kasing isagad hanggang sa dulo. Pero kung kaya naman natin ikat, na kahit ang gito lang kahaba, mas safe, hindi siya basta-basta mapuputol. Okay? Kasi may mga divider po yan. Once na magkamali, pwede siyang mag-snap, maputol, tatalsik yung blade na yun. Okay, set up your cutting line. Use a metal, straight edge. And then number 3, angle the knife and cut 45-degree angle. Number 4 natin, crack the blade immediately after every single cut. So yun, napaka-importante nun. Baka mamaya po pagtapos yung magputol ng wires or any tali, iniiwan nyo lang na nakabukas. So accidentally, baka mamaya may makahawak, mahawakan nyo, focus yan ng cut sa inyo. And then next natin, yung combination pliers naman natin. So yung pliers na tinatawag natin. So alam niyo naman to siguro. So ito na lang yung zone 1 to 3, yung discuss ko. May zoning pala siya, no? So ibig sabihin yung zone 1, ito po yun, the flat serrated tip gripping. So ito po yun. Okay, so ginagamit siya, the very front tip of the pliers sa shallow cross hatch ridges. Use this section to tightly grab, pull, bend, or twist flat sheet metal brackets or wipes. So yun po yung use niya. Ayan. So pang grip, pwede rin pang twist. Ayun yung zone 1, ha. Ito naman yung zone 2 natin, the curved pipe grip, pang hold naman daw. The rounded heavily notch cut out in the middle of the jaw is meant for round objects. It functions like a small wrench to grip pipes, tube, rusted nuts, or thick cables without them slipping out sideways. So ito naman, so pang grip din, kaya lang yung mga rounded naman na ginagamit. Pwedeng pipe, pwedeng tubo, basta any bilog, kaya nga siya naka-rounded. And then yung zone 3, which is ito, yung pangkat naman, the side cutters located right next to the pivot hinge. These sharp blades are designed to clip heavy gauge electrical wire, small nails, or zip ties. So yun, pangkat natin ng mga wirings natin. Okay, nandiyan pa ba kayo? Parinig nga, baka mamaya wala po ang kasama dito. Naririnig niyo ba ako?
Yes, sir.
Yun, tutuloy ko pa? Huwag na.
Tuloy pa, sir.
Sir.
Okay. Next natin, compass naman po tayo. So, sino po ba sa inyo nakagamit ng compass dito? Wala. Ako din, di pa ako nakagamit nito. So, ang compass, gagamitin natin siya kasi nga po, sa installation ng mass, pwede po kasi tayong gumamit ng P2P. Pag sinabi pong P2P, peer-to-peer connection. Ay, tama ba ako? Point-to-point pala, sorry. Yung point to point, directional po kasi siya. So meron tayong mga CPE or mga network devices na pwede maging sender and receiver kapag magsiset up ng network. Wala pa lang akong sample images, no? So ito, yung compass, usually ginagamit siya para malaman natin kapag malayo na pa, for example, mga 1, 2 kilometers or 3 kilometers. And then, syempre may mga puno or for example, building na nakaharang, blockage, para makita nyo yung site kung saan ba dapat tayo kukuha ng signal or magbabato ng signal. Pwede po tayong gumamit ng compass. Okay? Now, paano po ba gumagamit ng compass? Hindi ko po siya mapapakita sa inyo, kaya meron pong link dito na papanoorin natin kung paano po siya properly gamitin. Okay? So again, ang purpose po nito para makita natin yung exact direction kung saan natin itututok yung antenna na ilalagay natin dun sa poste. Okay?
Imagine being able to build just by thinking about it. Meet Base 44.
I'm going to show you how to use a compass and map in 4 simple steps.
Okay, check lang po. Malinaw po ba yung audio? Naririnig? O mahina? Hello? Dito pa ba ako? Rinig naman.
Yes, sir.
Siguro nakasangkot todo ko yung volume.
Sir.
Sige, play na natin to ha. So again, ito po yung way kung paano po natin gamitin yung mga compass na.
Most people have no idea how this works, but understanding it will open up backcountry navigation and possibly save your life. And all it really is just a magnetic arrow and a circular dial. So let's show you how to use a compass in the simplest terms possible. We need 3 things. 1, compass. There are a lot of compass styles. I recommend a clear one like this called a baseplate compass. The Lensatic military compass is a little different but popular as well. 2, a map of the area. I've got this one right here. And finally, knowledge of where we are and where we want to go. For example, I'm at this campsite and I want to go here to this mountaintop. Compass, map, know where you are. But before we jump into the steps, let's understand what the compass actually can do. A compass alone does not tell you your exact location. It's not a GPS. A compass paired with a map and landmarks can help you determine your location, but the compass alone cannot tell you where you are. So the main use of compass is to determine the correct direction of travel, helping you go from point A to point B. At its core, a compass is just a tool that can tell you to go that way. And what we'll cover is how to make sure the arrow to follow is actually pointing in the right direction. Got it? Okay, now it's the 4 steps. First, find a flat area to set your map and compass on, the ground, a rock, a car, whatever. Step 1, use the straight edge of your compass to create a line from your starting point to your ending point on your map. So I am here at this campsite and I want to go here to this mountaintop. And as you can see, there are no trails in between. So my compass is making a straight line right up to both of these 2 points on the map. So the straight edge we're using is from the base plate of the compass, and make sure the arrow on the base plate is pointing in the direction you want to travel, not like this, like this. So all we're doing is drawing a line from where we are to where we want to go. Step 2, well, keeping everything in place. Rotate the circular dial so it is parallel with your map. So hear me out. We want to rotate this circle, which is also called a bezel. So these black lines inside and this red arrow are pointing in the same direction as north on our map, or these blue lines on my map. These lines are called orienteering lines. So getting these orienteering lines on the dial parallel with the northern direction of your map is the most important part of using a compass. Not like this, not like this, like this. Congrats, you have just learned how to orient a map. The whole point of this second step is to ensure your compass, bezel, and map are in sync and aligned in the same direction. Step 3. Step 3 is to read the number on the circular bezel. So think if the hands on a clock can tell you the time, the number on your compass tells you the direction of travel. This number is called the bearing. So to keep things simple, on a 360-degree circle, following a bearing of 0 degrees is dead north, 90 degrees is east, 180 is south, and 270 is west. So look at the number on the dial that lines up with the arrow on your base plate. Next to this little white line, which is called an index point. Mine says 38 degrees. This number, the bearing, my friend, is everything we need to know. So my bearing of 38 degrees means I need to head north and slightly east. Congrats, you have done the most technical part of a compass. You oriented the map and you found your bearing. Now, all we need to do is the final step, which is follow the bearing, or 38 degrees in my case. Step 4, rotate your body until the dancing needle is directly in line with the orienting arrow on the dial. Only now are we going to pay attention to this famous red dancing magnetic needle. When we turn the compass, the needle remains fixed, always pointing north. But we don't want to go north, right? We want to follow our bearing of 38 degrees away from north. So hold your compass level in your hand and turn your body until the dancing needle falls inside the red arrow on the dial. We always want to make sure this north pointing needle stays inside the red arrow on our circular bezel. This is also referred to as keeping the red in the shed. Not like this, not like this, like this. Once the needle is in the shed, we are going to follow the arrow on our base plate. This is our direction of travel. Now we're ready to start walking. Following the arrow on our compass, keeping it level, and making sure the red dancing needle stays inside the shed on our bezel. That is the 4-step basics of using a compass. Draw a line on your course, rotate the bezel, read your bearing, and follow the bearing. Now let's talk about 2 more important things you should know. First, following a bearing correctly. Sometimes you might just be given the bearing degree, so you won't need to actually calculate anything. For example, imagine if you're coming to meet me here at the mountaintop. As you can see, there's no label on the mountain, so I couldn't tell you exactly which mountain it is. However, I could just tell you to start from campsite Pine Canyon number 5 and follow a bearing of 38 degrees for about 4 miles until you reach the peak. So you would turn the bezel dial to 38 degrees and follow the directional arrow on your compass while making sure the needle again stays inside the shed. And when following a bearing, instead of constantly looking down to your compass to make sure the needle is in the shed, it's often easier to find something that's already in line with your bearing and walk towards it, off in the distance, like a tree or a mountaintop. And no, especially in the woods, obstacles can get in your way, maybe like a river or a rocky bluff. If this happens and you get off course, it's okay. Just repeat steps 1 through 4 and find your bearing again. You should always be prepared to recalculate your bearing, often every couple miles, to reorient yourself. Literally. And the second important thing to know is declination, which is a small adjustment that makes a big difference. Now, I waited to discuss this after you understood the compass basics, because this little step can add a layer of confusion for beginners. The north arrow on your map points north, which is fixed and calculated and referred to as true north. However, the dancing needle on your compass does not point exactly to this true north. You liar! It's roughly pointing north based off of the Earth's magnetic field, which is created by moving molten iron and is not exactly true north.
What would you tell someone who knows exactly what to do but can't make themselves do it? That gap has a name.
This map shows how the magnetic fields on Earth look and can impact where the needle on your compass is pointing. This little magnetic needle is just doing the best it can. True north and magnetic north are just a few degrees different, but in some regions, especially near the poles, it can be 30 degrees or more off. So you need to be aware of this potential margin of error. So most maps will just tell you the declination, or you can just look up declination online for your area. For example, magnetic north in Austin, Texas currently is about 4.5 degrees east of true north. All this means is the magnetic needle on my compass that claims to be pointing north is actually pointing about 4.5 degrees more to the east than north on my map. This is pretty insignificant, especially for a short hike, but know that my compass will be directing me 4.5 degrees more to the east unless I say, whoa, compass, we need to go a little bit less east. So Adjusting for declination is actually super simple. Most compasses have set and forget declination settings. For this kind of faceplate compass though, all you need to do is take your calculated bearing and add or subtract the declination degrees. Remember this for declination adjustments. East is least, or subtract from, and west is most, or add to. So for 4.5 degrees east, I am going to subtract that from my bearing of 38 degrees for a final declination adjusted bearing 33.5 degrees. So to recap and dummy down declination, true north is on your map and magnetic north is your compass needle. To account for that difference, find your bearing, subtract from it if your area has an eastern declination, and add to it if your area has a western declination. That's it. This will give you the basics of how to use a compass and understand its parts. And know if you want to learn more compass tactics, there's always triangulation, which helps you pinpoint your location on a map using your compass and 2 landmarks. And if you want some awesome adventure meals, check us out at greenbelly.com. I'm Chris Cage, founder of Green Belly Meals, signing off. Peace. 11. Got it? Got it? Declination.
Yun. 9-minute video. Naintindihan po ba kayo? Hello, nandiyan pa ba? Sagot. Hello, nandiyan pa kayo? Oh, ngayon yan. At least may nag-like. May kita ko naman kayo eh. Lahat kayo naka-off-cam, pera lang sa exam po. Okay. So question po, again, sinabi ko na rin kanina, para saan po ba yung compass sa broadband installation? Ano pong purpose niya? Bakit kailangan po natin ng compass? Anyone po nasasagot? Pwede po mag-raise ng hands? Wala. Wala ng tao. Pag nagtatanong ako, wala ng tao.
Yan, sir.
Ayun, meron pala. Sige nga, Tim, para sa yung compass. Para di maligaw. Sa aeroplano pa yata si Tim eh.
Opo, sir. May flight lang sa lito.
Baka nalipad ka pa. Sige, yung iba na lang po. Anyone, kahit sino. Tutuloy ko pa ba? Stop ko na to. Bye. Wala. Ba yan? Okay, so ang compass natin, kailangan natin siya kapag mag-install ng mga antena para malaman po natin yung direction. Kung saan po natin itututok yung signal kasi mostly ang mga antena po natin is directional. Siguro naman meron kayong mga nakikita na antena ng signal, sky cable, yung malalaking bilog. So yun po is nakatutok kung saan po located yung kanilang mga satellite signal nila. Walang internet tinatawag doon eh. So yun. So paano naman po kung wala kayong compass? Paano yung pwede nyo gamitin? Ito madali na lang naman siguro to pag wala pong compass na nadala, nasa bubong na kayo. Okay? Ano po yung pwede nyo gamitin para malaman nyo kung nasan yung direction na gusto nyo tapatan ng antena na tinayo ninyo. Sige, pag may sumagot dito, lalagyan ko ng +5 dun sa quiz na susunod. Wala pa rin. Tigil ko talaga to. Anyone po? Ayan, si Quizon. Sige po.
Sir, base lang po to sa base lang to dun sa naging namin nung nagkaroon kami ng broadband na may antena. Kasi sir, minsan kasi meron antena na yung parang pinakamalaking antena nung mismong signal nung, kunyari po, yung parang, yung pinakita nyo nung last time, yung talagang parang sa ano yun eh? Ano ba tawag doon? Parang itututok doon, sir.
Bilog ba?
Base lang, oo, sir. Parang ganun kasi yung ginawa dun sa amin eh. Nung nasa bubong sila, then medyo malapit lang kasi sa amin yung pinaka-site nung broadband. So, ganun lang po yung ginawa. Then, tinest po dun sa PC kung makakakuha ng signal.
So ang question ko po is paano po malalaman? For example, ikaw na yung technician, nasa bubong ka na.
Okay.
Wala kang compass. Tapos hindi mo makita sa site mo kung nasaan yung kukuhanan mo ng signal. Paano?
Sir,
Yan. Sige sir. Narito, paano po?
salamin po, pwede kang gumamit ng mirror
Sige po,
kung may
pwede.
araw.
Ilaw kung may araw. So paano
Pag gabi naman po, pwede kang gumamit ng ilaw para makita mo yung ano.
Okay, yung signal. So ibig sabihin, pwede po tayong gumamit ng signal using light. Tama po?
Yes.
Yun. O yun, pwede po natin gamitin yon. So, pero kailangan may tao. Tama ba sir? So kailangan merong tao doon sa kabila kung nasa saan yung area na gusto natin tutukan. And then also doon sa point A and point B. Tama sir, no?
Yes, sir. Pwede rin na gumamit ka ng telescope.
Okay. Paano pag may puno, may blockage? Yun yung kasi na ano ko eh. Paano naman po kapag may may blockage dun sa line of sight ninyo, may mga puno or may mga buildings na nakaharang dun sa line of sight.